is Bob the Beast Sapp, and you're listening to Ramsey on Word on the Street. I'm on the street, baby. Word.
What's up, people? Welcome to the Word on the Street podcast. We are live. It is June 6th, the year 2000 and chael. You're damn right. We're still going with the year 2000 and chael. Even though it is D-Day, it has now become C-Day because we have a special guest here. I gotta say, it is from Team Jones, but we're hoping to bury the hatchet here on the Word on the Street. He is a former Team Jones fighter. He is an MMA fighter. You saw him on the last season of The Ultimate Fighter, season 17, Sonnen versus Jones. He is Mr. Adam Cella. Adam, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
I'm all right. I've been a little better. It's my day off, though. I'm hanging out, though. Also with us on the call is Jake from the MMA podcast. Jake, how's it going, man?
What's going on, guys? I'm doing well.
Awesome. Hopefully we'll have Coach Jamie, the living legend Huey, on in a few moments. But yeah, like I said, we've and of course, Adam, I don't expect you to know this, but here on the Word on the Street podcast, we interviewed nearly every single fighter from the Ultimate Fighter season 17 on the Team Sonnen side, except for Thor. We never got Tortrong. He's over there and like across the world or some shit. It's hard to get a hold of him, but we did interview every member of Team Sonnen. We did interview some Team Jones members. We had Mr. Gilbert Smith on. Jamal was awesome. Obviously you know him. He became more of a Team Sonnen fan after it was all said and done, I have to say. We loved him, and now that it's all over, I gotta say, man, it was good to see you were also one of the favorites on the show. There was like basically every person I've interviewed on the Team Sonnen side, they mentioned that two people were nice as hell on the rival team. Of course, Gilbert and you, Adam Cella. Adam, now we last saw you in Stockholm, Sweden. Where are you right now at the moment, and what are you up to as far as MMA and life in general? What's going on?
Right now I'm back home in St. Louis, gearing up. I fight on June 15th, actually, here in St. Louis. So just getting ready for that fight, kind of get my weight down, stuff like that. So, it's going to be my first cut down to 170, so we're going to see how that goes. But everything is kind of on schedule, which is weird,
170?
So, yeah.
How did that come about, and who are you fighting, and where?
170 came about when I had to cut about 3 pounds and still came in at 184 when I fought Tor over in Sweden. And then I saw his big ass against me and felt how big he was and realized, you know what, if I'm going to take this serious, I got to actually do the weight like a normal high-level fighter. So I went ahead and changed up the diet, and, I'm going to go ahead and make the cut and see how I feel. But, I'm fighting here in St. Louis at River City Casino. It's on a Shamrock FC card. And I'm fighting a guy named Justin DeMooney. A little controversy with that. My original opponent was a guy, Travis Savium, who I think his record is 7-6. So he's about a 500 fighter. A good fight to get back on the win streak. If I would have won, should have won. But he fell out of a tree and shattered his pelvis. I guess he's a tree trimmer by day and a MMA dude by night. But no, he fell out of a tree, shattered his pelvis, some ribs, and his wrist. And
oh my God!
I wish him a speedy recovery.
Not funny,
but
that's not funny. I'm sorry for laughing, but like he did the one thing that you're not supposed to do as a tree trimmer. He fell.
Yeah. That's we don't know if that's his job or if that's just a hobby, but I mean, either way. Apparently he fell about 60 feet, so I'm glad he's alive, but that, it took, it kind of put a stencil on my fight night, but, the guy who actually stepped up, his name's Justin DeMooney. He's, 15-5 from Iowa. He's got a good record, and it's going to be a tough fight, so, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll definitely check it out. I don't know if it's going to stream online or anything like that, but I'm sure it's going to be out there at some point. I will check that out and do wish you the best of luck. But if I could ask you about your last fight, which was actually your UFC fight, it was in Stockholm, Sweden. It was the Mousasi versus the Queen Latifah fight. You know, the main event ended up being sort of ridiculous, but that was your first official UFC fight. Of course, you were on TUF, but you know, the first official ranked UFC fight. Why were you and Thor scheduled in Sweden? I mean, I think I know the answer because that's Thor's homeland, but why you? And like, how much did that, honestly, like, real talk, how much did that fuck with you? Like, no bullshit, like, looking back, you're in a foreign country, you're not on the TUF finale card with everybody else in Vegas, and it's your UFC debut. Did that work against you at all? Just the strange elements combining?
You know, I'll be honest with you, not really. I thought maybe it would. You know, I up to that point, I had never gone out of the country. I mean, my family goes down to a beach house, you know, every summer, that's it. But get on a plane for 12 hours and, you know, going across the world, I thought it was going to affect me, but it really didn't. You know, I think what affected me going into that fight was I didn't really have the best camp. And now when I say the best camp, I trained hard and I didn't get hurt and this and that. But, you know, my last few days sparring, I was kind of getting beat up, and I think I was just physically kind of ran down. You know, I think maybe I'd worked myself a little bit too hard. And, you know, I wasn't feeling on point, you know. I mean, everybody has good days and bad days, and I just kind of had a few bad days right before I left, so it kind of got to me a little bit. But, you know, I felt fine actually going into the fight. I had some good training while I was out there. And the most interesting thing was being booed by 20,000 people. Because what a lot of people don't know is Tor is actually, I guess he's considered like the number 2 guy over there as far as popularity.
Right. That's right.
You've got Gustafsson, obviously, and then you've got Tor. And, you know, I come out to some Hulk Hogan All-American theme song, and these people they're already hating me for, you know, just because they're cheering on Tor. And, you know, 20,000 people booing you, it was a little overwhelming, but overall, you know, besides losing the fight and being a little disappointed with myself, you know, it was a good experience, and I'm glad I did it because I of come back to Vegas for the finale and watch all my friends fight. You know, I sat front row, got to watch them all, you know, half of them, you know, start their career. So it was pretty cool.
No, that must have been awesome. So yeah, I haven't even thought about it before, like walking out and having a home country crowd boo you. Like, that's got to be a little bit unsettling. Like, some people claim, like, I've heard some fighters be like, no, I love getting booed, you know? Is that really the case? I mean, that's got to be a little bit demoralizing. I mean, or was it just kind of like, it's like a little itch kind of while you're walking out there? What is it really like? Does it really come into play during the fight, or just, yeah?
Well, everybody's different, but for me, I was perfectly fine. I mean, like I said, I've never been booed before like that, but, you know, I'm a very calm, very, I guess, mentally strong person when it comes to this whole fighting stuff. I mean, it's just fun for me. I don't take it too serious. A lot of people don't like that about me, but, like, I mean, I take it serious, but, like, at the same time, nobody's forcing me to do this, you know what I mean? It's just, I do it because it's fun, and if I really didn't want to get booed, why would I wouldn't have signed a contract, you know what I mean? I would have said no. Yeah. But, you know, I was fine getting booed. It didn't really play a factor as far as, like, the fight goes. You know, what sucked about the fight was Thor was just better than me, and, you know, there was nothing I could do about it that night, so, you learn.
Hats off to you for saying that, but I mean, I had no prediction for that fight. I thought it could have gone either way, man. I thought you were both great fighters. It's just one of those things where it's like, we had, Keto Andrews. I don't know if you remember him or got a chance to meet him. We had him on the show, and it's like, damn, the only reason he probably didn't go like almost all the way was because his first fight was Kelvin.
Oh yeah, it was definitely It was definitely one of the more stacked seasons of TUF history, and I think Thor was the favorite to win the whole thing going into it.
Something like that.
Yeah, Thor, throughout the season, I'd say the first 2 weeks or so, Thor actually stayed in his room and kind of was just kind of like chilling out by himself. Didn't really talk much, and so nobody really knew anything about him. We just heard, and they obviously Team Son wasn't really talking too much, but they were like, man, Thor's really, really good. And then obviously Josh beat him, and we all knew how good Josh is. So it's really a hard benchmark to kind of go off of, you know what I mean? And I think Chael said that could have been the finals right there. Josh and Thor, but we had nothing to go off of with him. And then finally when I got home, and got the call that that's who they wanted me to fight and this and that. I obviously watched the video, but I'm not a big video watcher because then it turns into a highlight reel of someone you're about to fight, and then that is who wants to watch?
Yeah.
Who wants to watch that? So,
I hear you.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, that being said, The Ultimate Fighter, the whole entire season 17, did you watch that? Did you watch the whole damn thing?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it all, back here at home, obviously. The only episode I didn't like was when Uriah kicked me in the head.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I watched it because I didn't remember it.
Oh, God. Yeah,
and, apparently it was pretty... What they showed on TV was me kind of breathing heavy, this and that, and apparently that was the good part because what scared everybody was I was unconscious. Like, I was, basically motionless and lifeless for, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 or 4 minutes, and when I started breathing heavy and trying to my body was trying to force itself to breathe or whatever, that's when I started coming to this and that, and watching it back, I obviously don't remember the kick. If anybody's been knocked out, they kind of, it's kind of like they just erase your mind real quick, but
that's what I want to. Yeah, that's what I'm always wondering. Honestly, when you get knocked out, do you remember anything about the fight at all, or is it? Is it some sort of? I don't know if you've seen on the internet Vine videos where they're 6 seconds long, it cuts and cuts. Do you remember anything from that fight? When of course it's unfortunate, nobody wants it to ever happen to them, but even the best MMA fighters have gotten caught. Does it really just wipe out the whole entire fight, or do you actually remember trading a little bit?
I remember bits and pieces. That night, I remembered a few side kicks. He threw a couple of those side kicks, and I usually just take those. And what I remembered was, man, this dude's strong because it pushed me down. And 9 times out of 10, I just take those and just keep going forward. That's how I fight. And then I remember get on the ground and hit him with an elbow in the face from my back. And I remember landing a body shot that hurt him. And I was like, all right, I'm going to hit him again right there because he did not like that. And then...
it was a kick, wasn't it?
No, what I hit him with was I think I threw a straight right down the, to his face. And then as he came up the block, I like to throw a body shot that comes kind of like a left uppercut to your ribs, and
liver side or the other.
Yeah, liver side.
Oof.
So I like to just stick it right in there real quick, and then if I see that it kind of messes with someone, next time I'll really sit on it and turn into it. And I've put a lot of people on their knees from it. It's just something that's some guys are good at something, and that's the one thing I'm really good at. And it's kind of funny, there's a little side note. I was sparring Clint Hester,
yeah.
One of our practices, and he fell victim to that, and he that was the end of his practices, I think.
Oh, nice.
He was over it.
Yeah, I gotta ask you, man. Just your opinion. We know who won, who actually competition. This person beat that person. But in your opinion, and of course you can't say yourself because that would just be ridiculously cocky. Who was the best fighter that season, in your overall opinion?
Yeah, well, it depends on how you're going to look at it. I hate to admit it, but Uriah, he's a superstar. Uriah is good.
Yeah.
He's hard to take down. His stand-up's unbelievable, and if you get him down, it's hard to hold him down. Uriah, I'm anxious and excited to see what his future holds. I still don't like the guy very much, but I mean, if we're just going to go on talent,
you, man.
That kid's got it. But Josh is also real good. And what's kind of weird about Josh is he sort of like trains himself. He has coaches and stuff like that, but he's just naturally very, very good. And now that he's at a camp and a real gym and real coaches, I'm kind of anxious to see him. But
You're right.
Like
Uriah Hall and Salmon, then, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say. But I mean, the guys with the most potential is Clint Hester. I have never seen anybody pick up techniques as quick as he does.
Mm-hmm.
My boy Dylan he proved to be super, super tough and pretty good. But then obviously I think Kelvin's going to go pretty far.
Mm-hmm.
I think his problem will be against another good wrestler. But Kelvin's got great hands. I mean, the kid's got good boxing and is getting better. So, I mean, where do you really go with it,
Yeah, that kid was definitely a sleeper, and we have had Kelvin on twice on the show. I do consider him a friend at this point, but even I'm impressed every time he wins. Like, it's like you don't expect it for some reason. But The Ultimate Fighter 17, I gotta ask, you said you actually did watch it. Awesome. Like, did the editing job on TUF 17 piss you off at any point? Like, I've interviewed a few people who mentioned that their fights were like cut in half, or actually, we interviewed Uriah. He said he was claiming they were just making him look like a total dick. And were you happy with how the show turned out as far as your end went?
Yeah, and let's go back a couple of steps. They fast forward to some fights that are boring. We didn't really have hardly any boring fights, but when you've got like Bubba versus King, that was not an exciting fight.
Yeah.
That was Bubba laying on top of King for a round, King laying on Bubba for a round, and then the best part was the ending when King didn't get off the stool. That was a boring fight. But no, the editing, they didn't really edit anything to make people look a certain way. Like, Josh is a cocky Papa's ass. That's Josh. He's my friend, and he's I still talk to him every day and still see him, every now and again.
Yeah, you can see Josh has that he has that confidence in his eye, but it's like that crazy confidence eyes. Like, I see that. Yeah.
See, well, here's the thing: is like Josh is, as far as MMA goes, Josh is good. Josh knows he's good.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh knows he's not the best, though. He knows he's got to get better. As far as life goes, Josh is successful, and a lot of people don't know Josh. I don't even think Josh finished high school.
Oh wow!
I think he kind of ran into a little bit of trouble, but Josh is successful. I mean, he's got a promotion that he does down called Combat Night down in Florida. That I know for a fact. I went to a show and it was wall to wall, people sold out. So I know he's successful with that, and I mean, he's cocky and arrogant, but I mean, he's got every right to be, And then Bubba, they made him look like a redneck. Well, guess what? Bubba's a redneck. That's, you can't edit that. Straight
up.
So guess what? They made Uriah look like a dick. Uriah made himself look like a dick. And that's the truth.
I believe you.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure the Team Sonnen guys they may not have said this, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were there, nobody liked training with him.
He was that guy in the gym, right?
Yeah, well, we had heard from, Luke is brutally honest. Luke is one of the coolest guys in the house, brutally honest. And he's like, nobody wants to train with him. He just works out with the coaches, and that's about it. And then, I mean, you even see a couple times, we're upstairs talking by the fire, and he says, "Is your girlfriend a bitch like you?" That literally came out of nowhere. That was me saying, "Oh, we're going to the Red Rock. You can go to the Hard Rock if you want." And we just kind of giggled, and then that turned into that, and we were like, "What?" Like, I was almost dumbfounded by what he had just came back with.
I was wondering about that, man, because that did seem random, and I was like, they must have cut some shit out. But honestly, that's what everybody's saying. Like that, even you mentioned Luke. He was the only person on Team Sonnen that came on the show and actually did have something disparaging and trashed Uriah right away with no problem at all. So that beef was apparent. And of course, Coach Huey, he was on the call, but he was silent. He didn't have a damn thing to say. But
Jamie's not gonna stir up any trouble. But just going off of what everybody said, I've talked to Thor. Thor didn't like Uriah. Didn't like training with him. I should say. I shouldn't say they didn't like him as a person, but Uriah is very hard to get along with. Him and King even got into it over a game of checkers. Like, really? Over a game of checkers? And you guys have dumb rules that no one's ever even heard of anyways. So, like, keep playing your stupid-ass game.
The masterminds of checkers.
Oh, dude, they got into it over something so dumb. And then it was at one of those points where, like, you move one piece, I move one piece, and, like, no one's ever going to win. The game's going to go on for hours.
Yep.
They sit there and play for hours with one piece. It was so stupid. Like, it was horrible.
They just needed a reason to get fired up. Maybe you can help me out with something about Uriah, because like when a fighter comes on, I told you I was going to do some research, got a private investigator, everything. I always try to do my research on the fighters. I could not find out how old Uriah Hall actually is. It is not recorded anywhere. Adam Cella, do you have any idea how old this man really is?
Uriah Hall, I think is 28 or 29 years old.
I've heard he's up to 43 years old.
If he's 43 years old, then he looks pretty damn good for 43. But I believe he's about 28, 29, maybe 30. I think he's just a little bit older than I am, and I turned 28 in a few weeks, so I think he's right around there.
Oh, 28. Enjoy it, man. I just hit 30, and it's a damn nightmare. It's all over. So the next 2 years, man, take my advice. Just live like a 20-year-old. You can do all the adult 30-year-old shit. Like, you can do that when it happens. But that's actually tailed on to my next question, which is, all in all, Adam, if you could go through the Ultimate Fighter experience again, would you? And if so, what would you do different? Like, what advice would you give to your past self from a year ago?
Well, yeah, I would. Of course, I would do it again. And the advice I would give myself is when that 10-second clicker goes, keep that hand up. Or just move away from your eye as he's about to spin.
I was wondering about that, man. Did the 10-second, that clack, 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 did that actually play into, you actually dropped it a little bit, right?
Honestly, I have no idea. I don't remember it. Watching it, the 10-second clicker goes off, and my hands, I kind of, like, it's like I take a breath and like, okay, we're going to get out of this round. Just got to give Uriah props. He timed it perfectly, and he just spun like a little ninja and kicked me right in the face, which, everybody's like, oh, it's a lucky kick. No, there's no such thing as a lucky kick. When you throw a kick like that and it lands, you mean to.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a lucky punch. If I throw a punch and it lands, that's what I'm meant to do. I may have closed my eyes, but it still did what it's supposed to do.
No, I hear you, man. So yeah, the advice you would give is the traditional, keep your hands up at all times, protect yourself at all times, right?
Yeah, because I think throughout the rest of the show, I got a lot of FaceTime. I didn't come off as a dickhead. I thought everybody first knew me as, oh, you're the guy who got knocked out. But now everybody, they just, like, man, you really came off as a cool dude. You came off as, someone I'd like to hang out with.
Everyone said you were funny, man. Everyone said you were a hilarious guy.
Yeah, and they didn't show a lot of the politically incorrect things I say.
Yeah,
it's,
what kind of shit do they actually cut off, like, from TUF? Like, what doesn't make the cut? I mean, are you guys like, I know how I am with people. Like, you start talking and, like even, like, some, political stuff comes out. I gotta admit, some racist jokes get told. Like, what do they cut out of TUF that's like, that was actually good, Or there pranks that didn't even make it onto the show, for example?
Well, they, as far as like editing and stuff they missed, they just missed a lot of stuff. Like, we'd be talking and having a good time, and then the cameras would come running up when we were finished. And they're like, well, you guys just missed a really funny conversation, this and that.
Sounds like a lazy camera crew. Which
well, I think they were down watching Jamal dance or whatever he was doing with himself, and then they'd get the cue, hey, go upstairs, and then we'd be done. But we didn't really do too many pranks. The only prank we did that they didn't show was we took Gilbert's bed one time, and we put his box spring on top of his mattress and flipped it over to where it's like a hole. And then Josh and I kind of like made his covers like look like his bed was made, but still kind of messy. No. And the camera guys are like, all right, well, we're gonna go hang out with Gilbert until he comes up here. And then they got stuck hanging out until like 3 a.m. when he decided to come upstairs. And when he sat on his bed, he fell into the hole, and it was very anticlimactic, apparently. But
I bet you anything he had his shirt off.
Yeah, he always has his shirt off, and it's like he's not even buff. I mean, why would you do that? Like, come on, Gilbert, you're kind of fat. Let's go. But no, there wasn't too many pranks going on.
Word. Adam, are you okay with taking a call or two before we wind it down? All right. Well, first things first, I'm going to make an outgoing call to somebody, which you are hearing right now. We're calling Jamie the Living Legend Huey to join us right now.
Uh-oh.
Yep. And he is the Living Legend, people, Team Summit coach. Jamie, how you doing? Are you there?
I'm good, man. What's happening, Ramses?
You are on live right now. Just to let you know, the entire internet is of course watching this right now. Billions of people.
I better not cuss and say any words like shit or anything like that.
Yeah, don't fuck this shit up, man. You're on with Jake from the MMA podcast.
What's going on, Jamie?
What's up, Jake?
And we got Yao, and I shouldn't have revealed that we had a caller already. We'll get to the caller that just called in. But we have our guest, which Jamie. It is Adam Cella from Team Jones, formerly of Team Jones. I don't know if he still goes by that or not. Do you?
No. My mouth starts with Team Jones, that's it.
Awesome. Now, Coach Jamie Huey, we've been talking to Adam. He seems really cool, but can you vouch for this guy? He was a member of the rival team. What do you?
Well,
what can you tell
he
us?
actually, Adam's a great guy. Adam probably hasn't admitted this, but he actually came up to me and said, "Hey guys, I'm really on your team, but I'm just spying for you guys. So if you need any info."
No, I did not do that. I would not do that. But hey, hold on. Here's a true story. Coach John Wood was one of Team Jones. He is one of John Jones' assistant coaches on the show. So guess who I see in John Wood's gym the week of the finale?
What?
His name is Jamie Huey.
This is a bombshell allegation.
All of them are in there.
Oh my God!
Every one of them.
Yeah. You know what? I will give a big shout out to John. Dude, John is a great guy. And if you guys haven't been to his gym, Syndicate in Las Vegas, I would definitely vouch for him and tell anybody to come down there. We actually we're down there training for the Jones fight. We were down there for we came down there every day for about a week and got some really good rounds. That place was packed, man. I couldn't tell you how many people were in there, but it was packed, and there was some good training. So definitely shout out to John Wood.
That's actually where I switched my camps to. I didn't go down there for this camp, but no, John Wood is my new head coach, and I went down there and trained a little bit. But like Jamie was saying, man, the guys on the mat, we had about 40, 50 guys on the mat, and 20 of them dudes are UFC Strike Force vets, and then you're seeing King Mo spar Roy Nelson. I mean, when are you ever going to see that?
Mike.
You know?
I saw Mike Pyle down there. Of course, Vinny was down there. You know, the thing that was amazing about the Syndicate gym, it was, I think we were going down there at like 11 or 12 in the afternoon, and there'd be like 60 guys on the mat.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, what the hell what kind of jobs does everybody have down here? And then I realized it's Las Vegas, so everybody's, working, 24-hour shifts or some weird combination of that city never sleeps. So, it was definitely, it was pretty cool to go into a MMA gym at, lunchtime and see, 60 guys all at that level working out. So.
All right, but I've got to point out the obvious here, though. John Wood, of course, was the assistant coach for Team Jones. Jamie Huey, I'm sorry, you're not going to get away with this. How smart was it for? I believe even Chael trained at the gym before the fight. How smart was that to just train up there, being Team Sonnen with the rival coach? I mean, come on, after the second you guys walked out that door, he was dialing up. Doot. Hey, John, you there? Guess what? Come on.
Well,
no, hey,
I mean, what's he gonna tell him?
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen? What's up, Adam?
But realistically, I mean, what's he going to tell him? Hey, I've been watching Chael, and he's a really good wrestler. He likes to shoot a double. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. What is he? You know what I mean? There's no secrets. I mean, Chael will tell you. I mean, Chael fight John Jones, offered to fight him on 8 days' notice. So, I mean, I think a lot of people kind of overthink this stuff. I mean, there's no secret, you just go out there and you fight your ass off and you train for it. But the whole secret move stuff, I mean, it's not a Steven Seagal movie. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people want to overthink all these moves. But I mean, the fight's won in the gym. I mean, there's no secrets. I mean, Adam will tell you, when we were coaching on The Ultimate Fighter, that we had an open invite to anybody on John Jones's team that wanted to come over to the Team Dark Side. And not to sell out, but I'm saying wanted to come over during one of our practices and work with us. It was an open invite. Gilbert took us up on that.
That's also smart tactics, though.
Well, I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, Gilbert had lost to Luke at that point. So for us, it was kind of like it was an opportunity for us to come in and hang out and get a little closer to Gilbert because he was a good dude. But, if Gilbert was the type of guy that was going to come back and say, hey, you know what, I was working with Uriah and he likes to do this, or I was working with Kelvin, he likes to do, he could have did that because he was out of the competition, but we had guys obviously that he was working with that still were, that could have reported back. But you know what, he wouldn't have done it, but even if he did, it wouldn't have mattered because, I mean, we're fighters, that's what we do.
Word. Now, Adam Cella, it's time to come clean now that it's all over. Are you a John Jones fan or a Chael Sonnen fan if you had to pick?
I am a John Jones fan. As far as personalities go, as far as a fighter goes, John Jones wins that fight 10 out of 10 times. Sorry, everybody saw what happened. But as far as personality goes, you're not going to meet a more genuine dude than Chael. I mean, he came up to me off camera, no cameras around. I didn't think we had microphones on. And, he told me a couple of things that he didn't need to tell me. He didn't need to go out of his way to pull me aside from everybody and tell me a couple of good things. And I was like, you know what, that was genuine, and that was awesome. And then when I saw him the week of the finale, we drilled a little bit. We didn't really get to work out too much, but, he came out of his way to say hi, and so really, I mean, Chael's a cool dude. He just, as far as a fighter goes, I think against John Jones, he just loses every time.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. I love you to death, Adam Cella, but it was an early stoppage. That's my stance.
Yeah.
Coach Huey, well, he wasn't rocked. I mean, it was an early stoppage. He wasn't rocked. His eyes weren't fluttering in the back of his head. You can argue that, you could stop that fight, but when it's a title fight, you let that go until someone is actually, you let that one go, in my opinion. But Coach Jamie Huey, should Adam Cella, do you think he should have been on Team Darkside? I mean, obviously, what do you think?
I'll tell you something, Adam. I don't know if you know this. There was somebody that was very disappointed that we didn't snatch up Adam.
Mm-hmm.
You guys would never guess who it is.
I think it's Jamie Huey.
Well, of course, it was me. But, no, there was another one. Chael's mom, Claudia.
Yeah.
She, from the beginning, said, you guys need to pick Adam Cella. I think that's the guy that's going to win the show. I'm not kidding you. I'm dead serious. After all the fighters got into the house, Claudia, I think she kind of had a crush on you. I'm sorry, Claudia. I'm putting you on blast. But I think she kind of had a crush on Adam a little bit.
He's a heartthrob.
He did put the phone number at me. And I was wondering. I was like, man, who gave me this phone number and I don't have a phone? But now it's making perfect sense.
Yeah, Claudia's awesome, man. She's the greatest. But she was definitely an Adam Cella fan. So, yeah, sorry to put you on blast, Mom, but I thought Adam should know.
Well, I'm glad.
That's awesome. Adam, do you think if you had been on Team Darkside, do you think, I don't know, do you think it would have been any different, or are you one of these people that doesn't even question things? It just is what it is.
Yeah, when I got kicked in the face. I mean, that's for sure. But, no,
well, you know,
honestly,
yeah, go ahead, Adam. Sorry. I'm going to finish that, though.
I was going to say, I don't think, here's the thing. On Team Jones, I was the only one who was like, yeah, I'll fight Uriah right now. And you know, even our last night out when we were out at dinner, I sat across from Uriah, right next to Dana, and I told Dana, I was like, I'd fight this guy tomorrow. I was like, he doesn't scare me. Like we're in the business of fighting. Like, I'm not in the business of, you know, trying to handpick opponents and being a little bitch about stuff. Like, yeah, Uriah's a bad dude, but I don't care. You know, whatever. But everybody on Team Jones, like, after training with them, I don't know really who I would have matched up well against. I mean, everybody on that team is pretty damn good. Everybody, the whole season was pretty damn good, you know. I think everybody was a tough fight for everybody at that point.
Coach, you said you had something else?
No, I was going to kind of say the same thing. Was Adam was very vocal about, you know, he was going to step up and fight anybody. And Uriah did some very amazing stuff to get into the fight, to get in the house. So, you know, Uriah obviously was the, what was he, the third? I think he was a third pick guy. Yeah, he was our second pick. Yeah. So obviously, you know, he was a standout. But you know, to Adam's credit, he was willing to take a fight with Uriah from the beginning. And, you know, I'm sure I'd probably missed the first 30 minutes of the podcast. I was in here working punishments with Lightning Liz. But, you know, Adam's a 170-pound fighter, and we all know that. So I'm excited to see this guy at 170 and see what he can do, man, because, you know, Adam was pushing the fight with Uriah. I mean, Uriah, everybody wants to talk about timing. Everybody wants to talk about speed, Uriah speed. And definitely he's fast, but really it's his timing that's dangerous. Prior to that, though, to him timing that kick with Adam was pushing the fight, man. Adam was coming forward with kicks and with punches. So, I mean, you know, I'm not just saying this because you're on the podcast with us right now, man. I've said this 100 times that, you know, you came to fight and you brought the fight to him. Obviously up until you got caught, but you know, that definitely, I wish more people would think about that aspect of it than just the end result. You know what I mean?
No, definitely, yeah. Man. Yeah, definitely. It's just like, you know, you get matched up with someone like I was telling Adam that we interviewed Keto, and I mean, he honestly could have gone to the end, except, you know, he had the misfortune of fighting Kelvin. Keto.
Kelvin tweeted the other day his toughest fight was Keto. Yep. Toughest fight Kelvin's had to date, he said, was with Keto Andrews. So
yeah, and that's the nature of the Ultimate Fighter. And along those lines, we do have a caller from Queens. He is an amateur fighter. He's going to make his debut this year. So of course he's probably also interested. Well, definitely, if you're getting into fighting, obviously your end goal is going to be, you want to be a UFC fighter. His name is Yao. He is from Queens. Yao, the truth. You're on with Adam Cella. How you doing? And you got any questions for Mr. Cella?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. How you doing, Adam?
Good. What's up, buddy?
What's up? I just have one question. I just want to know what you can tell me about the Ultimate Fighter process. Like, there's probably things you can't say, but anything you can about the whole process, really. I just want to know, like, eventually I want to compete in it, and I just want to know about the process.
Really, the process is, they may change it soon, I'm not sure. But when I went for it was just an open tryout. Their weight classes. You have to have at least 3 pro fights with a winning record. They prefer more, but 3 pro fights with a winning record, and they have to be verified on 2 different websites. I'm not sure which ones. But then you go in and they check your weight, and then you don't have to be on weight, but they want to check your weight. Then you go into a grappling match. And there's where it gets a little tricky because they don't care if you submit someone or if you get submitted. I actually don't know what the hell they look for because the guy who I grappled with, he threw me around, didn't submit me, and I didn't submit him. I swept him a couple of times, but, he got cut and I got pushed forward. I was like, okay, cool, great. Don't know why, but whatever. Then you hit mitts, and then if you don't get cut there, you go to an interview. Then they really just want to see your personality. And, my advice as far as that goes is be yourself. Don't try to be over the top. Don't try to be funny. Don't try to be quirky. Just be yourself. And if you're funny and quirky like I am, it's going to get you far. Because, you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot if you're trying to be someone you're not. It's hard to do that. But, then they decide who they keep. You go through medicals, and then it's time to fight.
Awesome. Jake from the MMA podcast, I believe he's changing his name legally to LeBron James now, is what he's telling me in the chat. So I guess LeBron, you're on with Adam Cella. What do you got, man?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. If I legally change my name to LeBron James, then every time I make a hotel reservation, I make a flight out, they'll see that I'm LeBron James, and I'll have need to bump it up to first class or something. So I'm pretty sure that'll work. But my questions have nothing to do with that. Thank you for coming on, Adam. First off, I want to ask Mikey Ricci. He I guess 6 or 7 months ago, came off the season of The Ultimate Fighter, saying that the house changed him. It was mentally, very rough on him being in isolation, and it kind of messed him up a little bit. Did you feel the same way at all as far as being isolated in a house for 6 weeks?
Honestly, I didn't feel like it changed me. What it was kind of humbling, but it was kind of nice. Because imagine if you don't have to worry about your bills, you don't have to worry about going to work, you don't really have to worry about anything. You write down on a list what food you want, and then poof, it appears there. So you don't have to go to the grocery store. You got some chick that comes in and cuts your hair. You're living in a mansion, and you're hanging out with some of the coolest people you'll ever meet. But as far as being isolated, what sucked for me was I'm up at 6:30, 7 o'clock every day. Nobody else in that house was. So I would wake up, eat breakfast, and I would sit there at the table and play solitaire all by myself for an hour and a half, 2 hours, until Bubba decided to come crawling down the steps or something like that. But it got a little restless toward the end, and that was just, I guess, kind of when you have to go pee really bad and you're getting closer to your house and you kind of have to go more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
You realize you're getting ready to go home, so you kind of want to go more and more and more and more.
And as soon as you're through the front door, it's explosive. As soon as you're through the door, sorry, I have a problem with piss. All right, sorry to interrupt.
Well, yeah, as soon as my flight landed in St. Louis, man, I was happy. I was glad to be home. And what I was really excited for was to show everybody all the cool stuff I got. I'm sure Jamie can attest to this. They gave us a ton of shit.
Yeah.
How much shit did you guys steal? Come on.
I didn't steal anything. What they gave us was basically a new wardrobe. I probably got 4 or 5 pairs of shorts, probably 6 or 7 shirts, and then maybe 3 sweatsuits, 2 tracksuits, jerseys, more shirts, more stuff,
You would have gotten
gloves,
some mugs and stuff, some coffee mugs, but Jamie stole all of those.
Oh man, he's putting me under the bus. Hey, we're from the dark side. We don't apologize. Did I steal some shit? Absolutely. We every time we went to the TUF house, I left with a coffee cup, a mug, a glass. And I've given most of that away. I have 2 coffee cups that I'm keeping, but I've gave most everything else away. In fact, I just gave a really nice chrome mug out to my friend Amber the other day. But it was he's right though. They gave us a ton of shit, man, ton of stuff.
I'll tell you who was the worst though was Gilbert. Gilbert was like, "Hey man, if it's free, I want it." He didn't even care. Like,
he doesn't even wear shirts.
It didn't matter if it was a shirt or if it was just some groceries. If he saw someone else eating it, he put it on his list because he's like, "Yo, man, it's free. I want to eat it." So he would get he would see Josh, or better yet, he would see Colin eating goji berries. Like, who even knows what a goji berry is?
I don't.
No one. So Gilbert's like, I want some goji berries. So Gilbert's list, and this is actually going to a funny story. Gilbert's list would always be longer than anyone's, and what's funny is he can't cook. Like, he can make a cheeseburger that's already pre-made. He just microwaves it, and that's him cooking. But Gilbert used to put trout down on his list, like trout, and sometimes they would give him fillets, and sometimes this dude would get an entire fish, like scales, head, eyes, everything. So toward the end of the last couple of weeks, he would write down trout, and they would bring him some fillets that were smoked, and he's like, "God, these are disgusting." So he'd write non-smoked flavored trout, and they'd bring him a whole fish. So what Josh and I would do is we just started messing with him, and everybody would, they'd get ready to pick up the list. We'd go over to Gilbert's list and erase whatever he wrote, and we would write trout with eyes, smoked flavored. Just the complete opposite of what he wanted, and then we would take everything else off of his list. So all he would get is this fish with eyes that's looking at you. He'd be like, "Man, are they fucking with me?"
It has eyes.
and he never knew. Josh and I did it every night.
Hey, I cut him off a little bit. It was our caller, Yao. He actually has experience probably with butchering several animals, including fish. But yeah, sorry to cut you off there. He gave Adam Cella gave you some advice if you are looking into getting into the Ultimate Fighter competition. How close are you to that? And I wanted to just give you one final word. Sorry I didn't get back to you, but you're on again with Adam Cella.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. I just really wanted to thank you for what you said. Really, that's all.
Well, yeah, you're welcome, man. All I can say is be prepared for it. You know what I mean? They said you're starting. I guess you're just now starting as an amateur.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my amateur debut later this year.
All right. All I can say is take your time. When you think you're ready to go pro, take about 2 more fights against kind of higher level guys, and then and if you handle them, then you're ready to go forward. But I mean, the issue is now is there's so much talent out there that what's going to set you apart, and you're just going to make sure you're good at what you're good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
He's training hard. He is. Trust me. He is Yao the truth. You guys got to, if you're listening, you got to follow him on Twitter. I will sponsor this guy. I have, this podcast, we're running, we're running on just fumes here, but we are going to sponsor Yao the Truth as our first fighter. That's official. You heard it right here. Jake, you were chiming in with something?
Yeah, I was saying Yao works at the butcher shop and he likes watching the life escape the eyes of the animals. It's turning him into a cold-blooded killer like Carlos Condit. But you were talking about trout. I kind of wanted to ask. Everyone makes a list of all the food they want, other than the whole trout. Who was ordering the weirdest shit? I'm gonna guess it was Thor because he's from Sweden and they eat weird stuff in Sweden. But who ordered the weirdest food item in
hands down?
TUF house?
Hands down, it was Colin Hart. Hands down. that dude eats the weirdest things. Like one day, and Colin, we consider him kind of like a psycho because he would always like he would make the most inappropriate jokes. Like, okay, and just to give you a little insight to Colin, here's a joke. I don't even know what can and can't I say on this show.
Fuck it, man. Anything goes. This is real
fucking
talk.
say anything, brother.
He was telling dead baby jokes, wasn't he?
Yeah, Colin. Well, he says, "What's the difference between an apple and a baby?" And we're like, "What?" And he goes, "I don't come all over an apple before I eat it." Like,
Shit.
okay.
I knew it had to be a baby joke.
and Colin. Okay, here's the thing. Colin's hilarious. Like that dude. He was one of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet. And he was funny, but like he was very into like he's kind of a hippie. He's very like natural this, natural that, and his list of food. Like one day he put like liver on there. I'm like, okay, that's disgusting, but whatever. So he cooks it up, he eats it. He's like, that's not very good.
Oh, God.
What's on his list again? Liver. He's like, well, it's just full of nutrients. I'm like, you're so weird, dude.
Oh my God.
But half of his list they couldn't get because it was from like other countries and it was like out of season. And he's like I said, goji berries. Like I had never heard of them until I met him. He's like, yeah, they're a Himalayan berry that they're dried. I'm like, what? Like this is weird.
I've never even. All right, you've mentioned it twice already. What the fuck is a goji berry, man? What is that?
It's a berry named goji. I have no clue. I don't know. He's on the Whole Foods. I know he likes them, and
is there a chance that? Yeah, sorry.
What's fun? It's funny because he would put goji berries down like every day, and they never got it. Josh put it down one time, and he got goji berries.
Is there a chance that this is like the best shit there is out there on the streets? Like I've never even heard.
It's got to be good. It's got to be really good for you, but I mean, I don't understand really what. I tried it. I mean, I tried a dried goji berry, and I was like, whatever. I mean, I could just eat a grape or something.
It's just a berry. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
But whatever.
Final question before I pass it back off to Ramses. Actually, it's a question I'm going to pose to Coach Jamie Huey and you, Adam. I asked Bob Sapp last week, very simply, what are your two favorite pizza toppings? Bob Sapp answered shrimp and mayo, which is very interesting. I'm not asking what are your two favorite flavors, but it says a lot about a man. What are your two favorite toppings you like to put on the same palette? Are you a sausage and pepper kind of guy? Are you a veggie kind of guy? Yeah. I'll start off with you, Adam, and then pass it off to the living legend, Coach Jamie Huey.
I go sausage. If it was just two, I go sausage and green peppers, and that's
okay.
That's well. Hang on, wait. Let's rewind this. It depends where we're getting the pizza from.
It's all about the palate. Your favorite spot, the freshest sauce, the freshest dough, the freshest ingredients. What kind of palate are you putting on your pie?
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I don't know if you guys have Papa John's where you're at.
Yeah,
we do.
Definitely.
Okay, they've got a spinach Alfredo pizza, and get chicken on that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna call me and thank me.
I'll fucking try that tonight.
Spinach Alfredo with chicken. Coach Jamie Huey, what are your two toppings?
I only eat Mike Doty approved food.
Yeah, right. Me too.
If Mike Dolce was never born.
You know what, man? I am a self-proclaimed hot wing connoisseur. Buffalo wing sauce goes good on anything. I've had like buffalo wing pizza, like buffalo pizza with chicken, hands down, man. I'm like, I'll put freaking buffalo sauce on anything, man. I'll put it on eggs. I don't know what it is about hot wing sauce, man, but buffalo wing sauce and chicken.
A man who likes his hot wings. Ramses
That's
Yao.
Right.
I know we're trying to keep it short, but really quickly, what about you guys?
Yao, you're the one who's slaughtering all sorts of animals. Which one tastes the best? Yeah, I was a little embarrassed, I guess. Okay.
No, honestly, plain pizza is my favorite.
Oh yeah, plain pizza. That's a really serial killer answer there, man.
Yeah, really, he's back home thinking like, I like skin and fingernail clippings.
It tastes better when I can see the pain on their face.
I like it when they're breathing.
Yep. I just oh yeah, man. We know you're a good guy. You're just doing what you got to do for money. Sometimes sometimes you got to bag groceries. Sometimes you have to slit a baby goat's throat. We understand. As far as I go, I just put lime on everything. If anything, if it's got lime on it, dude, I'm there. That's for me.
Lime.
But I know, man. I know. Now we are getting a little ridiculous here, but I will bring it back. Look, I got to be honest, Adam Cella. The ratings on this podcast have been low recently, so I've got to introduce new segments and bits to try to pump it up, raise interest. And you don't know about this, but we're about to do a quick segment here called Fight Tips with Adam Cella. All right, it's going down right. Just have 3 quick hypothetical questions,
Okay.
basically street fighting tips. First question for Mr. Adam Cella. Fight tips with Adam Cella, of course. 1, let's say, Adam, you get into an argument with a dude who's your size, whatever. It's an even fight. You're ready to go. But when it comes down to throwdown, he pulls a fucking knife. Do you engage? Do you have some sort of tactic for engaging? Or do you kind of back down, try to talk your way out of it, possibly even run away? What do you do when a guy has a knife?
Well, me personally, I have never ever been in a street fight my whole life, so I would probably shit my pants and run away if a dude pulls a knife, because that dude's serious. He's legitimately gonna cut you, But if you had to, I just try to kick him right in the knee.
Just collapse that fucking knee in half. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just start smashing his fingers so he can never use his hands ever again.
Yep. Okay, now that's interesting. You said you'd never been in a street fight. Obviously,
never.
Some people will say that just to avoid having charges pressed against them, whatever, I don't know. But you're saying, the first time you ever got legitimately punched in the face then was like in a gym or in a fight, or do you have brothers? When was the first time someone punched you in the face then?
It was in the gym. When I was 20 years old.
Holy shit.
Swear to God. I mean, here's the thing is, like, obviously I've probably pissed people off before, but, like, I never really get under people's skin to where they want to fight me, except for Uriah. There's one time in the show he said he wanted to break my face, which was, it was a little inappropriate because he just broke Bubba's face.
And that's an Anderson Silva quote.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know who's quoting what, but I just know Uriah got pissed off at me.
All right, second question. Street fighting tips with Adam Cella. All right, 2 actual dogs, are chasing after you in an alley because some crazy shit happened and their owner is sicking them on you. Maybe you wandered into somebody's property unknowingly. 2 dogs are coming at you. How do you fight 2 wild animal dogs? Do you have any sort of defense, or do you just start fucking running as fast as you can?
Well, you just run as fast as you can, turn around, and then I just shoot these baby blue eyes at them, and they'll just sit down. That's it.
Word.
Sit down.
Actually, that happened to me one time with one dog. I was a little kid. It was one of those things where literally I was in my own yard, the ball went over the fence in the neighbor's yard. I hopped over, I was probably 8 years old, and then here comes their fucking pit bull growling, coming at me. I just stood there, and it was like a miracle of God. I don't believe in, I'll say it, I don't believe in God, but for some reason this dog was coming at me right when it was pounce time to just rip me apart as a little kid. It stopped for some reason, and then it just let me pet him, take my ball, and hop over the fence. It was all bark, no bite. So yeah, I gotta say, unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger from True Lies, I don't know if you guys remember that. He, 2 dogs jump at him, he slams their heads together and knocks them both out. Pretty good scene. I do agree with you, man. You gotta run the fuck away. Last street fighting question with Adam Cella. Number 3. Adam, You get into an argument with a girlfriend or a woman, and she starts punching you, all crazy. She starts striking you, like it's full on. As an MMA fighter, do you hit back? And how do you deal with it when it's a woman that's actually assaulting you?
Well, is it a woman or is it Fallon Fox?
Is Fallon Fox a woman? That's another question. Let's say it's a straight up girl. Yeah, maybe you've obviously got the size advantage, but it's a straight up crazed girl. Let's say she's a little bit intoxicated, but she is coming at you for real. How do you handle that situation?
All you do is you just grab the chick and you hold her. I mean, it's not. It wouldn't be that hard to do, but I'm not much of a wrestler, but she comes at you hands high. You just drop, change levels, shoot that double leg, hold her down, and she'll realize she can't win. I mean, I joke around and say I'll hit a girl because I've done it before, but that's just in the gym. I mean, like I've legitimately punched chicks in the face because we're sparring or whatever, but and it's kind of an ongoing joke where I'm like, well, you guys want to be treated like equals, let's go. But
True to that.
in real life, I would never ever hit a woman. I know some guys are like, well, you want to hit a man, you're gonna get treated like a man, blah blah blah. But that's just silly.
To
you just
quote,
hold them down. Hold them down.
Quote, sorry.
What?
I was going to say to quote the legendary Chris Rock, I would never hit a woman in my life, but I'll shake the shit out of her.
Yeah, exactly.
The goon hand. Yeah, I call it the goon hand, really. It's a secret technique I use. You don't have to hit a woman. Like, you can just kind of grab her arm and just kind of squeeze it just enough to where she knows this is better than a hit. Like, if you're ever in an argument in a restaurant and she's getting mouthy, you just squeeze that arm and be like, wait, just not right now, And that typically works better than... But next time I will actually try to shoot a double on a girl.
Well, yeah, because you gotta own them without owning them.
Exactly. That is the
or
trick.
Pinch the back of their arm, just a nice little pink.
That's the goon hand. Yes, that is exactly it. You grab their arm and you give it that squeeze right at the nerve. I call it the goon
I'm talking
hand.
I'm talking like a very little pinch.
Right on the nerve, then?
No, just on the back of the arm, like on the fat, where the arm's fat.
All right. A modified goon hand.
Yeah, a little pinch. See how that works.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. We will. Sorry for taking so much of your time, Adam. We will wrap it up here. I just wanted to get a couple quick questions out of the way. One of them came in from Twitter. It was from John Riding Krusty. He had a question for Adam Cella. It is, quote, was being on TUF as helpful of an experience as we hear Rogan and Goldie and Dana always go on about? What did it actually help you? What's up, Adam?
Yeah, it did help me. It kind of opened my eyes to see the big picture, because a guy like me, who I've been fighting on, local shows here and there, I got to see a bigger scale of things and, like, what you can actually do with, this fight business as a career. So I got to see the bigger picture, and, I don't know, you kind of, talking to Dana and talking to these coaches and all the other fighters, you kind of get the idea of what to do, what not to do. So, it was helpful.
Nice. And the last question for Adam Cella before we let him go here. Again, thank you for your time. I did do my research, hired the private investigators, tried to dig up some dirt. Unfortunately, it appears that Adam Cella is a nice guy. I'm not going to get any radio juice, any scandal out of this one. But I did reach out to, first of all, I reached out to Mr. Kelvin Gastelum himself, seeing what he knew about you. He said he didn't have any dirt. He advised me to just make some shit up about you, Adam. But I'm not going to do that. So I did reach out to another person. He was Nick. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's Nick the Terrible, the cameraman from the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh no!
17. Yeah, Adam. I asked him if he had any dirt, and to your credit, he said, He's got nothing as, I'll quote, "Oh God, I've got nothing as good as on Barnett, but I did crop dust that kid's bed all the time for calling me the Undertaker." I have no idea what that means. Adam, can you explain?
Yeah, okay. This dude shows up with if anybody a professional wrestling fan?
Yes, I am.
Okay, if you know the Undertaker, when he first came out, he was like this like Grim Reaper looking white faced dude.
Yep.
But somewhere in the late 2000s, like 2008 ish, he was supposed to be some motorcycle rider with like a bandana and sunglasses. Take that guy and put a camera on him, and you got the Undertaker. Like that was. You just saw him, and you're like, really? You're wearing a bandana and like a shirt that's 2 sizes too small? Like, really?
Oh, he's that guy.
Yeah, and it was funny because we weren't allowed to talk to any of them, and just one day I look over and he just mouths the words. He goes, "Well, fuck you." I'm like, what? like I'm like, who? For what? And that started. I was like, "You Undertaker lookalike little son of a bitch." I'm like, and it just started it. But
that's awesome.
No, I thought my bed smelled a little funny. I thought that was Gilbert. Whatever.
He was crop dusting it, man. I'm sorry to say.
Damn it.
Wait, you raised my interest now, though. Are you a professional wrestling fan?
Oh yeah. My strength conditioning coach is he's actually a pro wrestler, which I didn't find out until later. But he's in Ring of Honor right now, and I believe he's actually getting the contract with WWE in August. If I think, from what I'm told, he doesn't tell me too much, but
Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I've been a big wrestling fan since I was a little kid, and I still catch it every now and again, and I will go ahead and get geeked up here and say that the Royal Rumble came to St. Louis, and I did pay $370 a ticket to sit in the third row.
Oh God, who won that one?
That was Sheamus won that one.
Sheamus, dude. That is the most pale-ass motherfucker I've ever seen in pro wrestling, man.
Yes,
Holy fuck.
Yes. But I will tell you this, I get that it's entertainment and it's fun, but there are some people that think that shit is real, and they are a little awkward. And the guy that sat in front of me, I told him, I was like, dude, you're getting weird. Like, this is getting really weird.
You're getting weird, dude. Oh, sorry. I just have to ask. It is MMA news that broke this week. Then Rampage is going to get into TNA wrestling. What's your take on that, Adam?
Honestly, I don't think it really worked with King Mo, so I don't think it's going to work with Rampage.
They're going to be tag team partners. They just got announced today.
Oh, that's stupid. Is what it is.
Is that something you'd ever consider?
I would, but I would, Rampage is a way bigger star in MMA than I could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So, I think it kind of takes, I don't know, it kind of makes it really cheesy and silly, in my opinion. But Rampage is probably making a lot of money doing it, so why not?
Yeah, the word on the street is that Rampage is broke. He's in debt. They're about to repo that A-Team van, so he's got to do what he's got to do. I don't blame him. We'd all do the same damn shit. Now, okay. Thank you so much, Adam. We will let you go right now. But before that, any shout outs, any plugs you want to make? And really, how can people contact you, on the Twitters or elsewhere?
Everybody can follow me on Twitter at Adam Cella. What is it? Adam Cella MMA. I don't know.
Adam Cella MMA. At Adam Cella MMA. Yeah,
I haven't, to be honest, I'm new to the Twitter thing. I'm not sure what, hashtags and all that nonsense is, but whatever. Find me on Facebook, Adam Cella. Just look it up. I accept everyone. And
you have a fight coming up. Can you plug that fight real quick?
Yeah, fighting June 15th on Shamrock FC. Making my debut at 170, so it's going to be interesting to see that.
9 days.
And, I got about 13 pounds to go, so I'm doing pretty good with that. 13 pounds in 8 days I got to weigh in, so
You'll do it,
You
man.
know,
We wish you nothing but luck, man. That's going to be awesome.
thank you.
And hopefully you were cool. You were awesome. Hopefully you will come back on again, man. I'd love to have you. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, anytime, guys. Anytime, for real.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's all bid Adam a Jew here for right now.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, Adam, it was great. Great. Always good talking to you, brother.
Yeah, Jamie, it was good talking to you too, but I'm sure I'll see you again soon.
Absolutely.
Adam Cella, thank you for coming on the Word on the Street podcast. Follow him at Adam Cella MMA. And, we will have him on again, or else, we'll just trash talk him if you don't come back, Adam. I'm sorry. That's the way it goes.
That's okay.
You were a cool guy, though, definitely, man. And thank you for that, being on this long. And,
all right, well, thank you.
Yeah, and have a good night, sir.
You too, guys.
Yep. That was Adam Cella. He did join the Word on the Street podcast. Can't thank him enough for doing so. And can't thank you enough, Coach Huey, for arranging that. You obviously, are you cool? Is there anybody on the TUF alumni list that you're not cool with at this point?
Let's see here. There's a guy, Clayton Hires. I'm not too sure about that guy. Just kidding.
We gotta have him on
everybody.
sometime.
Yeah, I'm just one of those guys. I like to have friends. I like to get along with people. I can't say anything about it. Anybody on either team. I mean, I still stay in touch with a lot of those guys. And in fact, I was just talking to Ricky Lindell on Twitter the other day, who inadvertently is coaching Misha Tate on this season of The Ultimate Fighter. Ricky is kind of a stud, man. This is his. In fact, we're gonna have to get Ricky on the podcast. This is his second Ultimate Fighter gig, 2 seasons in a row. And then, I guess I don't know if I'm breaking the news or not, but Marina Shafir, who is one of Ronda's close friends, who also happens to be a coach on season 18. We have her scheduled in tentatively for this Tuesday's podcast. So obviously there's things she can say and there's things she can't say. So we'll be cautious in the questioning. But it'll be fun to have her on. I believe she's making her pro MMA debut, and she's a judo. I haven't done all the research on her yet, so I better be careful what I say. But
just to make sure I have it right, she's kind of part of the she's on the Rousey camp team, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she is one of Ronda's coaches on season 18.
On The Ultimate Fighter, hell yeah.
On The Ultimate Fighter.
And may I just say, woof.
Is she? I haven't looked it up yet.
Marie's a very attractive girl. Respectively.
Okay, yeah. All right. I didn't have to say. Yeah, Marina Shafir. Oh, hell yeah. We'd love to have her on then. I've been waiting for this a long time. Coach Huey, you're passing the torch to other coaches then. Let's get a beat on you, man. What's going on with you right now? What are you up to right now?
I'm just, in fact, I'm up here at the gym now. Just got done doing some mitts, with Lightning Liz. I'm trying to get her on, the September, I believe it's the September Invicta card. So if I could ask a favor from everybody listening to the podcast, get on Twitter, let Invicta, know, let Shannon Knapp know, let Janet Martin know, let at Invicta Fights know, that at Lightning Liz McCarthy, we want to fight and we're ready. We want to get on the next card. If somebody falls off of the July card, we don't get ready. We stay ready. 105 pounds. We're chasing that title. That's the only reason we're doing this. So obviously we want to stay busy. So anybody and everybody that Team Darkside or whatnot, if you guys could get on Twitter and let everybody know that we want to see Lightning Liz McCarthy on the next Invicta card. I appreciate that. Obviously,
I think we can make that happen.
Social media is very powerful.
Not even a replacement. Let's make it happen, man. Like not even a replacement. Let's get her on the card. Let's have him at a fight.
Yeah, get her on the card. Let's get her on the card. She got a big following, and we definitely want to get her. We want to keep her active. She's in the gym right now, so we're ready. We don't get ready, we stay ready.
That's my mission. What's up, Jake?
Yeah, I was gonna mention Team Darkside doesn't need to worry. worry about. And our leader Chael Sonnen taking a fight. It was a big week for Team Darkside. He picked up that fight against Shogun Hua at UFC on Fox Sports 1-1. Coach, have you been around the gym? What is the buzz around this scheduled fight in August for Chael Sonnen taking on Shogun? Has he started training? What is the deal?
Well, I better be careful. I'm not really sure what I can disclose and what I can't. Obviously the word on the street is Chael and Shogun in August. That's kind of what's being reported.
It's official. Fox Sports 1, okay. It is going to happen. Yeah.
Okay, so there it is. That's really that. I can't. I don't really have a whole lot more to really add to it. But definitely, as things progress, you guys know me, man. This is the show that I lay everything out. So as soon as I know some more stuff or have some more stuff, it will definitely be a word on the street exclusive.
Well, you're sorry. Well, Coach, what's your initial feel? How do you think? Obviously without any training or anything, seeing how everybody's doing, a Shogun versus Sonnen fight. How do you see that going? Just if it happened right now.
Shogun's a former champion. That's a guy. You can't take a fight like that lightly. I'm a big fan of having full training camps. There's an old boxing saying, you never turn down a title fight, right? Even on short notice. Chael's a guy. He'll today's Thursday, he'll fight somebody on Saturday. That's just the way he's built. Shogun's a tough fight for anybody. So I'm glad that we have more of an opportunity for a training camp other than just grabbing something short notice. But I think it's going to be a good win, and it's going to put him back up there in the rankings, and definitely hopefully for title contention again. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a great fight, and I'm looking forward to prepping for it.
I was also going to ask, is Chael planning at staying at 205 for a while, or is he still testing the waters at light heavyweight, so to speak?
No, I think 205 is his weight class. I think 205 is definitely his weight class. He's a big, huge guy. Chael's not a small guy. Even at when we were at the Ultimate Fighter, it was a 185-pound weight class, and you look at Chael compared to these other guys, and it's just he just towers over them. So, everybody always wants to go down a weight class. They think that's the answer. I don't think it's always necessarily. You got to be careful as a coach. You don't always want to make it about the other guy. You really want to make it about your fighter, and focus on your fighter, not on your opponent. And I think Chael's a bigger, stronger guy at 205. So I think 205 suits him well.
Yeah, Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar was a great example of that. That not necessarily the bigger fighter is the better fighter, and you don't necessarily need to cut all the way down to excel at your weight class. That's all I got for you, Jamie. I'll pass it back off to Ramses unless Yao has any questions for the living legend, Coach Jamie Huey.
Yeah, I have a question. Coach Jamie, are you going to be at Fox Sports 1?
Boston, right? Where is it? Boston, August 17th?
August 17th at the TD Center in Boston.
Sonnen versus Shogun headlining.
Yeah. I plan on definitely being there. If there was something else that comes up, in the event that, that's kind of the thing that we have to be careful that, we're a team. We have, I have several people that I'm responsible for. So we don't want to make it one of those situations. For instance, when Chael fought Brian Stan, Yushin was getting ready to fight. I can't remember who he was fighting, but they went to Boston to fight, or was it Boston, or I think they went to Chicago to fight Brian Stan. I stayed back and worked with Yushin Okami for a week and a half while they were gone. So, you know, it's one of those things as far as the team goes. You know, you have to make sacrifices for fighters, and obviously, you know, Chael is Chael. That's our guy. That's you know, really inspires everybody here to get to his level. But you know, if I've got a training camp I'm running for Liz, or Tommy Leesman, or I've got Chris, or I mean, any one of these guys that are in the gym right now. Obviously, we have to make concessions, and we all want to be part of the big show. But at the same time, we all got to work as a unit. So I plan on being there unless something else comes up. I'll definitely see you guys in Boston. Yeah.
Okay, because I remember back on a podcast before UFC 159, you were saying, like, if anyone was there, just come up and, like, we could take a picture or whatever. I was at UFC 159, but I didn't stay behind. And I just wanted to know, like, how I could actually get a picture with you at the next UFC event.
Oh, dude, anytime, man. I'm like, you know, most of these UFC guys and coaches and everybody, we're all just, like, accessible guys. We're not... There's nothing, you know what I mean? Like, you go to a boxing event, and it's really hard to kind of get access to the fighters and the coaches and whatnot. But, you know, the UFC is very accessible. And, dude, I'm just one of these guys, man. Just if I'm somewhere and I happen to be at an event, and as long as we're not, like, you know, it gets crammed, like, on Friday because, obviously, the weigh-ins and then Saturday the fight. But we usually get in, like, on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, man. Usually guys hit me up on Twitter and just, hey, I'm down in the lobby. You know, we'll go down there, we'll get a cup of coffee, and I'll spend 20 minutes talking to you about anything. So, yeah, I mean, I'm always on my phone. I'm always on my Twitter account. So we're all very accessible. In fact, when we fought in Newark, Clayton and Scott actually had gotten a couple tweets from some various people that were fans of the show. That are probably listening now, and they went up to hotel rooms, took pictures, went down to the lobby, hung out. So, dude, just hit me up, man. You know, I'm not hard to find.
Jamie's lying. He drives around in a Maserati. He has 3 bodyguards. He has his personal assistant buy front row tickets to Trailblazer games every night. No, I'm not messing around. Jamie, from our experiences, you definitely seem like one of the more laid back and down to earth guys in the sport. And that's why we love you.
That's why he's a
Oh, thank you, brother. I'm having a good time with this stuff, just like everybody else.
Definitely. Now, people, yes, we did have Adam Cella on. It was a great, entertaining time. As always, Team Jones fighter coming over to our side at least a little bit, talking to us. I am ready to squash the beef once and for all. I think we can declare the war against Team Jones over. We've talked to enough of them. They were just, you know, victims of being picked on the wrong side, I have to say. Now, people,
circumstance.
Help. Let's just wrap it up, and just to let you know, the Word on the Street podcast. Follow the Ant Jimmy Show on Twitter. Follow Coach Jamie Huey. Follow the MMA podcast, and yes, Yao the Truth. And also, we are on YouTube. Just search Word on the Street podcast. You can see everything we've ever done. And we are now on iTunes. Just search Word on the Street MMA. Word on the Street MMA on iTunes. You'll see the interviews we have up there. Some exciting shit coming up for you guys. Stay tuned. And I just want to give it a little cruise around the table here. Everyone sign off and let people know where they can contact you. Starting with Jake from the MMA podcast.
Yeah, Ramses, you mentioned it. Just follow us on Twitter, The MMA Podcast, all one word. Visit themmmapodcast.com. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Coach, for being a part of the show. Thanks, Yao, for calling in. And thank you, Ramses, for running the best underground MMA podcast the internet has ever fucking seen.
You're damn right. And Yao the Truth, where can people find you and follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Yao_the Truth. That's YAO_the Truth. Thanks to Coach Jamie. Thanks to Adam Cella. And thanks to the Ant Jimmy Show for running this amazing podcast.
You're welcome, son. Now, Coach Jamie Huey, what about you? What do you got going on? Where can people reach you? When's the next fight? You mentioned Liz McCarthy coming up. When can we see her throw down? What's up?
Hopefully soon. And that's definitely where I need you guys to all come in, all you guys listening to the show. Appreciate everybody, man. Really do. Team Dark Side isn't just us, it's everybody. We need to get those tweets. We need social media. If you can mention at Lightning Liz McCarthy to the at Invicta Twitter account, let them know you want to see Liz. That definitely helps us get some fights. And I will personally retweet everything that anybody tweets out there, as long as Liz and Invicta's and we can get some movement going. Possibly, I got a guy, Chris Folsom, who got a call tonight to maybe fight on that Nick Diaz war show in Stockton, I think in 2 weeks. So we're still looking into that, but that might be a possibility. Might be down there for that. Other than that, yeah, I'm on Twitter at Coach Jamie Huey, and hit me up on Twitter and follow Liz. And appreciate you guys obviously doing the podcast, man. It's just going to get more fun, and we're looking for sponsors for this podcast. So if there's people out there that like what we're doing, get a hold of us on Twitter, DM or whatnot, and we can definitely talk about putting your brand out there.
Hell yes, and we definitely will. What you see is what you get here on the Word on the Street podcast. It is the word on the street that we're bringing here.
I'm a fucking marketing major, which means millions of people will listen, and you'll make billions of dollars, guaranteed.
We'll get it going. And yeah, definitely, we will start the campaign tonight, people. It's Operation Liz, all right? Operation Lightning. How about that? Operation Lightning.
Operation Lightning in effect.
I'm interested to see just how much pull we can get, how much the Twitter universe, how much that influence has over MMA promotions. We've seen it happen.
And it's all just keep retweeting the same stuff, guys, and to the point where, and I'll definitely let you guys know how it goes. I'm looking forward. We're going to have Marina on next weekend, and I've got a friend, Jennifer Bonjean, that if you guys have been watching the whole legislation thing happen with MMA in New York, she's, in fact, I believe she's on Cavuto on Fox News tonight, but she's she's an attorney in New York. She's been helping out with the whole legalized MMA in New York. I actually haven't asked her, but I'm going to call her tonight or tomorrow and see if I can get her on in a couple of weeks. She can kind of talk about maybe the legislation. And so we got some big things happening on this show, guys. So as long as everybody just keeps participating and putting it out there, it's only going to get bigger.
I agree, man. Yeah, let's push for it all. Let's see what the power of the internet and the fans can do, because that's basically what the internet is consisted of. So yeah, we will do it. I'll start Operation Lightning tonight. Check us out on Twitter, everybody, The Aunt Jimmy Show. But we'll see you guys. Thank you all for participating on the next episode of the Word on the Street podcast. We don't know who's coming up yet, but as always, it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a great guest. Thanks again to Mr. Adam Cella. He was awesome. And everybody, we'll see you next time. Talk to you in a few, and good night.
Bye, guys.